What's going on everyone? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another new video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the final world job weapon and probably the most unique one of the final shape. Today we're taking a look at the Ded Gramarye. I think that's how you say it? I have no idea. I have never seen this word before in my life. And when I searched it up, it didn't really help. This is a brand new shotgun that was added with the final shape. And like I said, it has to be one of the most unique shotguns in the game currently. It's basically one of a kind. It brings in a lot of new perks that shotguns usually don't have. Things like bolt shot, things like chain reaction, just pretty out there perks, and this is the only shotgun that can actually get them. So today we're taking a look at what are the best perks you can get on this weapon, what are the ones that you should be looking for if you're looking for a god roll on this weapon, and lastly we're going to have a mini review where we just kind of talk about the weapon. So before we get into any of that though, let's talk about how to actually get this weapon. And that's going to be the most heartbreaking part of this whole video, because since it's a world job weapon, we basically just have to get lucky that we get this weapon, and then that we actually get a good roll to drop. That's pretty much it. Luck just kind of has to be on your side. It can drop from any legendary engram, or also from the rank up engrams from the vendors. They can also roll world job weapons. But yeah, it's basically just going to come down to luck, which kind of sucks, especially with such a unique and very fun weapon, which is, you know, giving you a bit of a preview of what I think of the weapon. This shotgun is a lightweight frame, meaning you move faster with the weapon equipped, and you also have really good handling. It makes the weapon feel really good, it being a lightweight frame. Now the origin trait for this weapon is one of my favorites. It's actually wildcard. Wildcard will make it so whenever you kill an enemy, you drop some sub-munitions on the ground. And the sub-munitions are basically like Telesta bolts. They just kind of sit there. If an enemy hits them, they take damage. It's just a easy way of like getting some more damage out there. I really like wildcard. It's a pretty fun perk. Now let's actually move on to taking a look at the perks in the weapon. First we gotta take a look at the barrels and the magazines, and then afterwards we'll actually talk about the trait perks. And the trait perks is the thing that we're mostly interested on, so that's probably where we're going to spend most of our time. Okay, so let's start off here with the barrels. And for the barrels, I'm going to be honest, for PvE, it's not going to matter at all. You can get any barrel and it'll be good. Now, if you're thinking of taking this weapon into the Crucible, although I wouldn't really recommend it, it's more of a PvE shotgun, but if you still want to take it in there, your best bet is going to be either rifle barrel or smooth bore. That's pretty much going to be like your best two barrels for this one. Now moving on to the magazine for PvE, we got two options that we can go with. We can go with Assault Mag, which is going to increase our stability and also our rate of fire, meaning that we're just straight up just going to shoot faster with this weapon. Or we can go with something like Tactical Mag, which is going to increase our magazine size and our reload. Both of those are going to be pretty good for PvE. Now for Crucible, the only real choice is going to be Accurize rounds. It's the thing that increases the range the most, so go Accurize. The barrel and the mag are not really anything that we haven't seen before, they're just regular shotgun perks. Now let's get on to those trait perks though, and this is where it gets pretty good. So here are the options we have for the first perk. We have Threat Detector, Select Draw, Stats for All, Eddy Current, Discord, and then the last one is Surplus. The three that we want to take a look at is going to be Threat Detector, Discord, and Eddy Current. So let's start off with Threat Detector. Threat Detector is going to give us some big bumps to its stability, handling, reload speed. The main stats that we care about though is going to be that extra handling and reload speed. Usually we can reload crazy fast, because Threat Detector is pretty much going to be up anytime they use a shotgun. You always want to be close to the enemies, meaning that most of the time you're going to have that Threat Detector up, getting all those bonuses. So it's going to be pretty good. Threat Detector is going to work for both Crucible and PvE. This is a perk that you can use to both. Now next up we have Discord. Whenever we get a kill with another weapon, it will grant this weapon increase aim down sight speed, accuracy, airborne effectiveness, and also final blows will refund ammo. And that last part is pretty much the reason why we want to use Discord on this thing, because as long as we have Discord active, we pretty much have unlimited ammo. Every time we get a kill with our shotgun, we get 1 ammo back, so we're not wasting any ammo with Discord on. We will waste some ammo on some of the bigger targets when it takes like more than 1 shot to kill them, but on enemies that just take a single shot to kill, then we're pretty much always getting that ammo back. And you get a pretty long time with Discord too. You get 7 seconds, of just constantly getting your ammo back, and then you can just switch over to your weapon, proc Discord again, and just do it again some more. This is gonna be a fantastic perk. It basically uses a little spammer shotgun, and it's gonna work really well with things like bolt shot, with things like chain reaction, just things that give you a bit more AoE. This is gonna work very well with. So this score is gonna be fantastic. It's just gonna be really hard to beat getting free ammo. And the last perk I want to talk about in this column is gonna be Eddy Current. Now Eddy Current won't be good all the time. Eddy Current is only gonna be a good choice whenever you have an arc build on. To really take advantage of Eddy Current, you gotta be amplified, and being an arc build just makes it much easier. But if you are on an arc build, Eddy Current plus Bolt Shot is gonna be a fantastic perk combo. Bolt Shot is gonna give you a bit of extra ad clear, and it will also help you stay amplified so you always have that Eddy Current up. All that reload you get from Eddy Current is also really good at proccing Bolt Shot, so you know they both kind of help each other out. So those are gonna be the best perks that I think that you can get on this first column. So now let's move on to the second one. Now this second perk is what really makes this weapon unique, because we have a lot of perks that usually don't show up in shotguns. So let's take a look at what our options are for this second perk. First we have Purple Weapon, then we have Bolt Shot, Surrounded, Chain Reaction, Disruption Break, and lastly Golden Tricorn. And the main three that we're going to talk about is going to be Chain Reaction, Surrounded, and lastly Bolt Shot. So let's start off first with Chain Reaction. Chain Reaction is gonna make it so every time you get a final blow with this weapon, it creates an elemental explosion. So since it's an arc weapon, it'll make an arc explosion. This is gonna be really good for ad clear because it happens every time you get a kill with this weapon. Chain Reaction is still gonna be an amazing perk for ad clearing. It did get a nerf early this season with the final shape, but that was only specifically for the waveframe grenade launchers, so it didn't affect anything else besides the waveframes, so it's definitely still a fantastic perk. I would definitely say to pair this up with Discord, so you can just fire the weapon, get all your ammo back, and also do a bunch of ad clear. Now next up we have Surrounded. Surrounded is more of a niche perk, but it is a huge damage buff. Whenever you're surrounded, you get a 40% damage increase. Now 40% is one of the biggest damage buffs in the game, and it just so happens that we're always going to be close to enemies. So a lot of the times we're going to be proccing the Surrounded, just because of the nature of the weapon. It's a shotgun, you always kind of have to be close, so you are actually going to be proccing Surrounded a lot more than you can with some of the other weapons. So Surrounded is actually not a bad perk at all in this weapon. I was using one with Surrounded for a bit, and it does some pretty good damage. You definitely notice the extra damage, mostly against some of those big enemies. Against smaller enemies, you're already going to be one-shotting them, but you definitely notice it against the bigger enemies like mini bosses or just majors. Surrounded pairs up really well with a bunch of different perks, but I would definitely say Surrounded plus Threat Detector are going to be really good together, since they both pretty much have like the same activation requirements. So you're going to have that extra damage, as well as increased handling and reload speed. And the last perk we're taking a look at is going to be Bolt Shot. Whenever we get a kill and reload the weapon, the next shot is going to jolt the target. Now shotguns are going to be really good with Bolt Shot because they reload really quickly. You're basically going to be able to take full advantage of this perk, and this perk is going to do a whole lot of different things. It's going to give you ad clear thanks to the jolt, and also thanks to the jolt you'll be able to deal with bigger targets, since they'll be taking a bit of extra damage with the jolt. And the great thing about Bolt Shot is that it works with pretty much any perk that you get on the other slot. It doesn't have to be anything specific. I did talk about Eddy Current with Bolt Shot, and I do think that that's an amazing combo, but just Bolt Shot by itself is going to be amazing. You could run it with Threat Detector, you could run it with Stats Roll, with Discord. Any perk in the first column is really going to work with Bolt Shot, especially if they increase reload speed. That is going to be fantastic. Now if you're looking to take this weapon into the Crucible, there's not really any good perks in the second slot that I would say are Crucible perks. You have things like Vorpal, which will help you kill supers a little easier, or something like Golden Tricorn, or maybe even Surrounded. I've seen a couple people run Surrounded with this weapon, but there's nothing really specific that I would say that you gotta have for the Crucible. The second perk is not looking super great. So those are the perks that I think are the best in this weapon. If you guys have any other suggestions or maybe a perk that I mentioned, leave me down in the comments below. But now let's take a look at some other god rolls that you want to go for. Now the first god roll that we're going to have right here is going to be Eddy Current Bolt Shot. This is going to work very well with your arc builds. But like I mentioned before, Bolt Shot really works for anything that increases the reload speed. As long as you have something to increase your reload speed, Bolt Shot's going to be good. Now the second one, we're going to have Chain Reaction plus Discord. This is going to give us a lot of ad clear, plus also that unlimited ammo thanks to Discord. So this one's going to be pretty fantastic. Definitely keep an eye out on this roll as well. And the last one is going to be Surround the Threat Detector. I think this one's going to be also really good. You get that big damage increase as well as all the stat benefits from a Threat Detector. It's going to make this weapon pretty deadly up close, and since it's a shotgun, it's basically going to be pretty deadly all the time. So those are the god rolls I think that you guys should be looking for on this weapon. And if you guys have another roll combination that I think will be good, make sure that you leave that one in the comments below. Now let's actually just talk about the weapon. I really love when Bungie does things like they did with this shotgun, where they put perks that typically don't roll on those types of weapons on the weapon, and I think this is just perfect. The main reason that you want to use this weapon, it is because of those perks. If the shotgun basically just had normal shotgun perks, nobody would have really paid attention to this. But since it does have those perks, it definitely makes it very unique and just a weapon that's different to play with. We never had something like this. It definitely changes up your playstyle. And it kind of makes the shotguns use more competitive in PvE, I would say. But overall, I definitely like the shotgun. Hopefully I didn't ramble too bad in this video. I am getting sick, I can feel it. So I'm sure it's going to hit me either later today or tomorrow. So maybe the videos will be paused for a bit, depending on what happens. But regardless, hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's video. Leave a like if you did, dislike if you didn't, subscribe to the channel in case you guys haven't already. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys thought about this weapon? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Have you gotten a good one to actually drop? Leave me that in the comments below. But anyways, thank you all for watching today. Have a good rest of your day, and peace.